to stay connected with the issues of the day and regular life, and not to be too lost in the artistic world. This is another sculpture in Dublin. This is the Linesman. This is a monument to the working people of Dublin who built Dublin and made it what it is. And it's across the river from the IFSC, which is the main Yuppie centre. So it was an opportunity to give credit to the people who built the city, and as opposed to the Yuppies who are creaming off the city. So this sculpture was a very interesting competition, not because I won it, but it was very interesting because the way it was done. It ran a competition, a very public competition. It shortlisted 4 artists. They were given a certain amount of money to create a work. There were 4 works that were exhibited, and then the people chose which sculpture would be in their city, which is very nice. So I asked the person who ran the competition, and she said I got 75% of the vote. So that gave me great confidence to go forward with the project, knowing that it was wanted. So that's one way that competitions can be done very, very well. Because a lot of decisions are made by the artistic elite, and that's why we get a lot of rubbish. Because it's not connected with what people want. This is a St. Catherine of Siena, which I did when I was in New York Academy. I went to New York Academy in 1999, graduated in 2001, and September 11 happened and I had to leave because I was illegal at that stage. It wasn't a good place to be illegal after September 11 in New York. So I went to Rome after that. But this is St. Catherine of Siena and St. Josemaria Escrivá, founder of Opus Dei. I'm a member of Opus Dei. And this is St. Joseph and the Child Jesus, which was commissioned after the first 2. These 3 and the Cardinal Newman, which you'll see later on, are 4 bronzes together, which are in the Catholic Information Centre in Washington, D.C. So that's where most of my work is, in one place. They're all life-size bronzes, and the idea that what inspired me with this, you saw the first 2 pieces, St. Escrivá and St. Catherine. They were very stiff. That's because I was rushed into it and I was given very little time. So I basically warned the person who commissioned me, who continued to commission me to do this one. I said, if you really want me to give you the best product, I'll do it for the same money, just give me the time to do it properly. And that's what I did this one. Yeah?
What's the difference in the time?
The time, the first piece was, I had to get those 2 pieces done in 3 months. That's to make it, I cast it in bronze and get it up to DC from New York. Crazy. Yeah. And this one was over 6 months. So this was a lesson I usually explain this to people who want to commission me. Look, if you're going to give me the same money, I'm going to give you a much better project and give you the time. For me, the most important thing is that the piece is the best it can be. The money is just a fuel in order to get the truth and the beauty out. Now this piece, for instance, it gave me time to contemplate who St. Joseph was, because all great art comes from a contemplative soul. Because you can't create something with deep meaning unless you are prepared to study it and contemplate what this work means. So in order to produce this, I had to contemplate who exactly is St. Joseph, and what is his message to people today. And what I saw around me with all the inner city projects that I've been working on, especially in the Bronx and so on, I noticed that there's a recurring theme, problem. There's a crisis of fatherhood. A lot of kids are growing up with no father. And this is one thing I wanted to address. And I thought St. Joseph would be an ideal icon to address that. So what I decided to do is do St. Joseph, unusually holding the child Jesus in his hands, without the Madonna. The reason I didn't have the Madonna is because I was asked to do St. Joseph. I did another piece later on, might be in this, where I have the Madonna with St. Joseph and the child. But this one I wanted to address that issue. and to create a contemporary St. Joseph. So it's a masculine, virile St. Joseph in a very contemporary pose, but also very compassionate and tender. Okay? So I want to get those values, because those are the values that are needed today and speak to young men today. So that's one thing I wanted to do with this piece. When it was unveiled by Father C.J. McCluskey, you might be familiar with Father C.J. He has his own, he does a number of programs on EWTN. He's a priest of Opus Dei, and he's the guy commissioned to do this. During the homily, of the unveiling of this sculpture, the blessing of the sculpture, he said that I asked Dony to give me St. Joseph the Worker, but I said, oh, what is he going to say? He said he gave me St. Joseph the Biker. So I realized, and then he said, but that's exactly what we need. We need a St. Joseph that speaks to the people today. And that's actually, there's one of the guys in the CIC, the Catholic Information Centre, when he comes in occasionally he leaves his motorbike helmet at the feet, just as a joke. This one here is Hobie Baker, who's a sports hero from St. Paul's, New Hampshire. And there's a stadium named after him in Princeton University. And this was commissioned by Charles Scribner III. I have to be very careful with my Irish accent and the way I pronounce that, because I think you understand what I'm talking about. I got into a lot of trouble in the States over that. So this is commissioned by Charles Scribner III. He's basically inherited he was basically the third in line of Charles Scribner I, who started the Scribner Publishing Company. And they discovered Hemingway and F. Scott Fitzgerald and so on, so very interesting people. But this guy, I was in St. Pat's. I used to go to St. Pat's for Mass in the morning before I went down to Lower Manhattan for my school. And I noticed that this guy was in front of me all the time. He was shaking my hands every day for like 4 months. I said, well, I got to introduce myself to this guy. I mean, it's crazy. I don't even know his name. So at the end of Mass, I decided to say, I don't know your name. I've been shaking your hand for 4 months. I'm Dony Mac Manus. And he said, oh, yeah, very good. What do you do? I said, I'm a sculptor. I said, oh, what sculptor? He said, oh, I wrote a book on a sculptor. I said, who? He said, Bernini. He said, wow, that's one of my favorite. So he invited me out for coffee. We met up for breakfast every morning for the next while. Got to know him really well. And he turned out to have written a book on Bernini and Rubens. And he converted to Catholicism through studying Bernini and Rubens. So it just shows the power of great art. So anyway, he ended up commissioning me to do this. Actually, the way he commissioned this is fantastic. I love the way Americans do business. Because he asked me how much would this cost. I was thinking, I'm gonna have to make some serious money to be able to pay for this course in Manhattan, which ended up costing, living and studying in Manhattan cost about $120,000 for 2 years. And I left Ireland with $3,000 in my pocket and came back to Ireland or to Italy with $6,000 in my pocket after paying over $120,000. And that is, like, to me, is a complete miracle, because God really helped me out. But one of the first gigs I got was this, and this job, basically, he said, what much do you need? I said, gee, I'll chance my arm with this one. I said, 5,000? And he said, oh, it must be more than that. Oh.